Just when you thought Ryan's world couldn't sink any lower, it seems the mighty empire is crumbling like a sandcastle at high tide, washed away by waves of controversy and bad decisions. From flop movies to falling toy sales, and now a desperate attempt to squeeze every last dime from their son. Ryan's parents have reached a shocking new low, and trust me, as the video goes on, it only tends to get worse. The once mighty YouTube juggernaut, built on the back of a kid who wasn't even old enough to tie his own shoes when it all started, seems to have come to a halt after the colossal flop that was Ryan's World the movie. Their toys stopped flying off the shelves, and the YouTube channels, despite featuring Ryan in nearly every other video, just aren't pulling the numbers they used to. It's like the internet finally said, and say it with me, let bro retire. It's almost as if Ryan's parents are starting to realize that their cash cow might not be as cashy anymore. Maybe, just maybe, it's time to let Ryan have a normal childhood instead of working a full-time job as a YouTuber. The guy's been grinding since he was 3.5 years old. 3.5! He couldn't even read, let alone the contracts his face was signing him up for. So, let's rewind for a second to the golden days. Ryan Kudji, formerly the star of Ryan's Toy Review, was the kid every other kid, and let's face it, every parent knew. His YouTube channel was the ultimate playground, a place where toys got unboxed and millions of dollars got made. The kid was living every child's dream, but instead of a piggy bank, he had a bank account the size of a small country's GDP. But let's not get it twisted. Adorable or not, Ryan wasn't just playing with toys. He was accidentally kickstarting a billion-dollar empire. By 2018, 2019 and 2020, Ryan's World was making over $20 million. 20 million! Those are NBA player numbers. And Ryan was just trying to master his ABCs. From TV shows to toy lines, he was everywhere. Walk into any store and there he was, smiling at you from a shelf. By the end of 2020, Ryan's World was raking in $30 million a year. That's a whole Taylor Swift tour worth of cash. But with great fame comes great scrutiny. Turns out Ryan's World wasn't as squeaky clean as it looked. Hidden sponsorships, manipulative advertising, people started raising eyebrows, and while the Kudji empire survived the scandals, cracks in the foundation were forming. Here's the thing, this whole saga isn't new. Family vloggers turning their kids into content machines is practically a genre at this point, and Ryan's story fits the template perfectly. What started as a wholesome family project quickly became a corporate empire.
Well, Brian been watching YouTube ever since he's little, and he started watching other kids on YouTube. And one day he just come up and asked me, can we start a YouTube channel? There's other kids on here. It looks like they're having fun. And then I started watching YouTube videos with him, and it really did look like the family on there, the kids on there were having a blast together. So I thought, why not?
Ryan's parents claim he loves doing YouTube, but come on, does anyone love working 24/7 under constant pressure? His childhood has been broadcasted, monetized, and turned into content. And now, as he hits his teen years, it's clear his parents are trying to wring out every last drop of his earning potential before moving on. And it only goes downhill from here. Ryan's mom, Luan Kudji, turns out she's got a bit of a history. Back in 2002, Luan was arrested for shoplifting $93 worth of clothes from JCPenney. She got 6 months of probation and a $150 fine. Look, everyone makes mistakes, but going from stealing clothes to exploiting your son for millions, that's not exactly the glow up we were rooting for. It adds another layer to the Kudji parents' obsession with money. It's like they're so scared of losing everything, they're willing to sacrifice Ryan's well-being to secure their fortune. But like I said earlier, it only gets worse as the video goes on, because here's where things take a bit of a turn. Lately, Ryan's parents have been hyping a new project, EK World. Haven't heard of it? Don't worry, you're not alone. It stars Ryan's younger twin sisters, Emma and Kate. and is clearly an attempt to keep the Kaji brand alive as Ryan ages out of his role. I mean, picture this, you're the golden goose of your family for years, the one pulling in millions, and now suddenly your parents are like, thanks kid, now make way for your sisters. Almost like he was no good for making money anymore, so they pushed him aside like an old toy. But now, I know what you might be thinking, this could be promising, right? But no, bro still can't retire. Although Ryan's parents are pushing EK's world down everyone's throats, they're still making Ryan create content he's clearly too old for.
Look at these cute little penguins. I think they're lost.
We're lost.
Don't worry, I'll get you back home.
Yeah.
But first, time to test out my super strength.
Now, sure, Emma and Kate are more fitting for the role, no doubt. But let's not pretend it's all sunshine and giggles. This is a calculated move. The Kaji parents aren't just pivoting, they outright replacing Ryan. It's like the Hunger Games Family Edition, where the torch gets passed to the next set of kids who haven't hit burnout yet. Now, although this could hopefully allow Ryan to venture into his own passions in the future, if his parents will ever allow that.
I want to be like an animator. I think it's really fun to do because like the drawing and then like at the end you get to see the whole thing and see what you've like worked on the whole time.
After what we've seen Ryan go through, do we really want the same for his younger sisters? Think about that, because then again, in a few years' time, once Luann and Xion have milked their kids dry for money, we'll be at the same crossroad, just with Emma and Kate this time. And people are noticing. The internet is filled with comments calling out the Kajis for their actions. Stuff like, let Ryan retire already, and free the Kaji kids are all over their social media. Because there's an even bigger issue at hand. Ryan's world isn't just bad for Ryan, it's bad for the kids watching it too. Studies have shown that the content promotes materialism and teaches kids that happiness comes from owning stuff. According to Dr. Michael Rich, a pediatric professor, Ryan's videos are essentially consumerism in kid-friendly packaging. They're teaching kids to focus on toys and stuff, rather than creativity or imagination. The results: shorter attention spans, increased anxiety, and a warped sense of what brings real joy. Think about it. These videos paint a picture of happiness that's all about things. If you have toys, you're happy. If you don't, you're supposed to wish for them. It's not just toxic, it's depressing. Oh, and speaking of depressing, let's talk about Ryan's World, the movie. Released in August, this cinematic masterpiece managed to flop so hard, it created a financial black hole. The movie cost Ryan's parents $9 million in losses. Yes, negative $9 million. That's not a typo, that's maybe comma. The plot, something about getting stuck in a comic book, groundbreaking stuff. The execution, imagine dollar store CGI mixed with the dialogue that sounds like it was written by someone trying to finish their homework 5 minutes before class.
You're lucky I'm not calling the actual boss!
You have a boss?
And those viewing parties, awkward silence all around, as friends and families pretend to enjoy what was essentially a $10 million vanity project. This wasn't just a flop, it was a statement, almost like a giant neon sign saying, we're out of ideas, but not out of greed. And the public weren't holding back either, saying they would rather watch Barney, and this movie was just a cash grab. This person even wrote a whole essay of complaints, stating that Ryan grew up and his parents are desperately trying to hurl him into the spotlight with a poorly produced film. All while this kind person gave some new title suggestions. So it's clear, this isn't just about Ryan, it's about a broader issue with family vlogging. These parents are turning their kids into brands before they even hit puberty. And while the kids might seem happy at first, the long-term effects are devastating. Burnout, resentment, therapy bills, you name it. Emma and Kate might be shiny new stars of the Kaji empire, but how long until they feel the same pressure Ryan did? How long until they too are replaced by whatever new scheme their parents cook up? So what's next? Ryan's parents clearly think they've got it all figured out. but honestly this empire is buckling under the weight of its own greed. Ryan is 30 now, and it's only a matter of time before he starts pulling away from all of this. In the meantime, his parents are doubling down. If it's not Ryan, it's Emma and Kate, and if not them, who knows, maybe they'll start unboxing appliances next. But one thing is clear, Ryan's World isn't about Ryan anymore. It's about keeping the money train rolling no matter who gets left behind.